Hey, welcome to the first episode of the DevDojo journey. I tweeted a couple weeks ago that I am able to take on DevDojo full-time, and I am super pumped about that. And part of doing that is I want to kind of document the journey. And I'm going to do these videos probably once a week. It's going to be about 5 minutes. I actually have an outline. The first thing that I'm going to do is a stats recap. So I want to be 100% transparent about the number of users, revenue, and then I'm going to talk about what I pretty much worked on for the week on DevDojo. I'll talk about then what I'm going to work on next week. I will then talk about maybe something that I learned. And then the final segment is going to just be a random segment. So it could be like a book I read, which is actually what I'm going to do today. So those are the 5 segments that we're going to go over. Let's go over the stats recap. Okay, so today is May 6th, 2022, and as of today, there are 56,279 users who have signed up for a DevDojo account, which is super cool. And then I will show you the total paying users. So there are 699 current paying users. So those users might be paying $15 a month. There's also, we have a yearly plan, which is $89 a year, right around there. And with those paying customers, I am at 7,174 for a 30-day period. So that is the number that we're currently at. So like I said, I wanted to go over the current users, the paying users, the revenue, and pretty much the analytics for the week. So right now, the site's at about 20,000 users who have come to DevDojo, and it's usually around 23 to 24,000 per week, but it's the early morning right now, so right now there's not as many who have visited the website today. So that is the basic stats recap for the first week. Hopefully in the weeks to come, there's going to be some times where the numbers might be lower, a little bit higher, and we can kind of see the things that I've done. It's going to be kind of a learning experience for me, and I hope that you can leave some comments below, maybe give me some feedback, and maybe I'll take it into consideration. Okay, so this week I actually worked on a video called Tailwind CSS Slide Over. So it teaches you how to create a simple slide over in Tailwind CSS. And this is hopefully to promote the Tails project, the Tailwind CSS page builder that is on DevDojo. But it's also just to, kind of learn something new and then teach it as well. So at the end of the video, I kind of give a plug to check out the Tails page builder. And the other thing that I did was I also created a post that was called Developer Tips on Becoming Your Own Boss. And it's kind of just a fun post about some things that, I've kind of learned along the way, kind of some inspiring things to hopefully encourage other indie developers to just continue building side projects. And of course, I was working on the new version of Tails. So if you're not familiar with Tails, you can go to devdojo.com. That would be /Tails. And you can see the current version that we have right here. So it is a Tailwind CSS page builder. So you can basically drag some of these blocks onto the canvas and then kind of build out a web page. So the new version is going to be super cool. Let me actually exit out of the app. I also put together a new landing page, and you can see it's kind of cool with this text kind of sliding in. You can see a preview right here. And this was just a start to the new landing page. You can then click on Launch the App. You can go into a specific site. So instead of this just being a page builder, it is going to be a full-on site builder. So you can add multiple pages. You can go here, select a section. Let me reload. Yeah, I have a few kinks that I'm working out. Yeah, so here's like a full code editor. You can go up one section to see the whole div. So like if I select this text, you can then see all the parent elements. And as you hover over this, it also hovers the element down here on the canvas. So then you could select the overall section, which would select all of it right here. So we have the text editor. You can also then edit the project. So the icon and the title. We're gonna have HTML settings. You can add some CSS, some third-party JavaScript if you want. You'll then be able to publish the project. So you're gonna be able to publish it on your own domain or on a subdomain. It is going to auto save after a certain amount of time. And I'm also going to have a cool version history, so you can jump back to any previous versions of the site. So some of the things that I was working on this week was the ability to click on the project settings and then delete your project. So let me jump back over to the dashboard, and let's say that I'm going to create a new project. So I click on that. We have this kind of like name generator that it will generate. Actually, that didn't turn out right. Okay, I actually have an error there where I need to update the project whenever you click into it. So you could actually delete another project right now. And this whole part of the process of building out your application is you're going to be testing things out and being like, oh, that doesn't work, oh, that works. But I'm hopefully going to try and get a beta out of this new version within a month or two. So yeah, you can come here, drop in some designs, and kind of build out your web page. Heroes, logos. Yeah, super cool stuff. Super pumped about this new version. I'm going to do a product hunt launch. I'm going to basically release it out to the newsletter. And I think a lot of people are going to jump on board. I'm actually going to create some other sites with my site builder. So that'll be pretty cool. So this next week, it's going to be the same thing. So my primary focus is going to be on the new version of Tails. I'll probably also be writing some posts, maybe creating another video, but my primary focus is going to be on releasing this new version. So this is probably going to be for a couple weeks. The same update is going to be next week. I'm going to work on more Tails updates, and I'll kind of give you some of the stuff that I worked on for that week, in the next episode. Super important before I even start the day is just to write out a list of things that I think that I could possibly accomplish by the end of the day. If I don't do that, then I just go off on a tangent. I'll check email, I'll do a bunch of other things, and then I never end up actually focusing on the main things that I should be focusing on. So get into the office, write down things that I think I should get done for the day. If I don't get them done, then I can move them on to the next day, or maybe they just weren't important enough. But yeah, so definitely that's a lesson that I'm going to take into next week. Okay, now for a random segment. So a book that I have been reading this last week, which I really enjoy, is called The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And I think it's just a really good read. I think if you're into, the kind of self-help, self-development books, you'll really enjoy this. It does have a little bit of, some religious stuff in it. So if that's not your cup of tea, then you may not like this. But I think for anyone, it is a good read. It'll help you, kind of get pumped up a little bit about, things that you can do to change your daily behaviors that you can hopefully lead into more of like a successful career, a successful life. But yeah, I think it's just a really good read. Okay, so that's it for episode 1. Thank you for coming along with me as I kind of rambled along and talked about my week. This is kind of what it's going to be like. I just kind of want to document the process. It's going to be something cool for me to look back on later. And I hope, of course, that I am inspiring some other indie developers to continue creating side projects so that way one day that can be your full-time passion project. But I hope you guys have an excellent weekend, and I will talk to you next week.